This is a video I've wanted to make for a while now, actually since the season first started. This is the new event, the Seraph Tower. It's on Earth, on the Moon, and on Io at the minute. At the minute, doing it on the Moon and doing it on Io are kind of pointless because the bunkers on those planets aren't open yet. They open later down the line. The Moon's is actually from making this video a week today, so the Moon one is next. But for this video, we're going to kind of go over how to make it easier for people to do, because some people don't really seem to get it, or at least kind of follow it as simply as they should, because it's really not too hard of an activity to do. There is no heroic version, so there's no need to like figure out some kind of technical strategy to make it heroic, because there is not a heroic version. It's not a normal public event. But this video is going to go over how to basically beat it, for those of you who may not have even done it yet. Some tips to make it easier from what I've learned from doing it God knows how many times to get my bunker fully upgraded within the first week, which was a lot. I did this a lot of times. And let's go over a few things that you might not know are actual effects in this. So if it helps, leave a like if it does help, of course, and subscribe if you're new. I am going to try and work on more PvE videos as soon as I can. I do mainly do PvP, but I do want to make PvE content too, so I think for now this is a good way to start that, just commentary over old gameplay. So let's get into this, shall we? Okay, so a basic concept of how the actual event works. There is a central tower, and around the central tower there's 3 support towers. One pops up each kind of rotation, and basically what that means is while that tower is up, there'll be an area around it. You can see like the little orange box around it. You have to protect that. You have to make sure no enemies stay inside it when the tower is about to be fully charged. Enemies can go inside it, no problem, but when you start hearing the tower beam up, you have to make sure there's something in it, else you will not get that many orbs. Now with the orbs that drop out of the tower, there is like in the center of the 2 like prongs of the support tower, there's a little ball, like an orange ball. You want to throw the orbs that drop from the tower into that ball, and it will move up towards the middle tower. When you throw enough, it'll go into the middle tower, percentage of the event will go up, and then that support tower will come down, and the next one will go up. And you keep doing that. I bet you have to do it quite a few times for it to get to 100%. I'm not exactly off the top of my head remembering how many times you actually have to do it, but there is a certain amount of times, every time how many times you have to do it. There is no like random amount of times you have to do it, it's a set number of times you have to do it. When that is done, 2 champions will spawn in, either barrier or overload. They're not really tanky, so you don't really need the rounds to beat them. As long as there's enough people there, supers and heavies will do it. But if you want to use the rounds, feel free. I think I do anyway for the most part, and in this clip I actually do. So that is how the event mainly works. Now I'm going to go over the best ways to effectively do it, let's say. Okay, so in terms of how to do it effectively, obviously a lot of people are needed. The more people the better. It is kind of, in a way, it's kind of RNG on how many people you can get. You can LFG it, but you can only obviously have 4 max in a public fire team. Because I think that was an issue with Escalation Protocol. You can only take a certain amount of people to the planet with you, so that's very restrictive. But considering it is the only tower event worth doing at the minute, there's usually quite a lot of people around it almost all the time. And if there isn't anyone there, just reset your instance. Just fast travel back to the same location, hope there's people there. If that doesn't work, return to orbit, try again. Usually works out. So yeah, a lot of people are needed. In terms of supers and classes, it doesn't matter what class you are, every class has a really good super for this. Hunters, it's Arc Strider from what I use. It's good wave clear, very good wave clear, and it's more effective than like a Blade Barrage or something like that, because that's just one burst where the adds keep coming, so Arc stuff is good to keep consistent. On Titans, I would probably go with Thunder Crash, not Thunder Crash, Fist Havoc, sorry. Again, really good add clear, it lasts a while, there's a lot of damage. And then for the Warlock, Storm Chance is good, but if you really want to effectively do it as a Warlock that really helps, you want to use Nova Bomb. Nova Bomb is really good at taking out the big bosses that spawn in. And then alongside that, the little orbs that come out of Nova Bomb will go to ads around it as well. So it's really good at taking out those bosses quickly because they can be a pain, especially the captains, because they do have a tendency to just teleport onto the tower, which can be really frustrating. Like last second, they'll just jump onto it and it will only spit out 2 orbs. So, in terms of classes, they're probably the best ones to use. Weapons, it doesn't really matter what weapons you use, to be honest. You can use any weapon you want. It's just down to preference, really. But here comes just the last few little tips I'll tell you about that you may not know about the tower and see if it helps you in any way. Okay, so the last few little tips I'd probably give about the tower is don't miss your orb throws, because when you pick up those orbs and you miss, which I have done multiple times, they will explode. You can't pick them up again. They will just explode, which is really, really annoying. On top of that, there is one thing that it's not really annoying, but it can be. It kind of wastes a couple orbs usually. Sometimes, because of how the orbs spawn, you only need one more for the support tower to go down to change. When that happens, and there's still orbs on the floor, pick them up, but try and wait for someone just to throw one. Because if you end up throwing, if everyone picks up one, doesn't realise, and everyone's trying to take that last one in, you're gonna throw 3, and it's just gonna waste like 2. And having spare orbs from the last tower is really good for the next, because you can boost it immediately, so you don't have to get all of the orbs from that tower to push it more. Like you can just have 2 from the last tower, throw them in, you've got an early start for this one. Same with the next one. Makes the whole thing a lot easier. And also, don't really waste your time with the robot frame, heavy frame things. They're not that good. They look cool, sound cool, but you're better off just picking on the javelin, honestly. Like, they're more useful because they hit more enemies. The big guys don't really do a lot, and they seem to die very quickly, so it's not really worth having those on the field with you. But yeah, that is going to be my kind of advice for these towers. It might be common sense, but it might help. Yeah, from the amount of times I've actually done it, these things have kind of helped just to know what supers to use, know how many orbs are being thrown, where enemies are, where the bosses are spawning, because the bosses are the most important thing, because they will ruin it. It is very difficult when those bosses get on top of the tower, especially when there's not as many people as there should be. You really just have to pay attention to those bosses. But yeah, if this does help to any new players who haven't done it yet, or for people who have done it but are struggling, do let me know. Leave a like if it does, leave a comment if you think, there's some other things that I should mention. That it's easier, because this is just my way of doing it. But yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll speak to you guys in the next one.